In my previous section on fractions, I showed you how we could visualize fractions in picture form. Today I want to show you how we can convert mixed numbers into improper fractions, as well as show you pictures of how we derive that. So let's look at this mixed number, which is 1 3/4. I'm going to color code it so that we can make it easier for you to visualize. The big 1 suggests that you have one whole, whereas the 3/4 means you do not have a whole, but rather you have parts of a whole. What does that mean? It means your whole was divided by 4 pieces, and of those 4 pieces you have, I'm going to use a slightly different color, you have 3 out of those 4. Now, how can we convert our mixed number into an improper fraction? An improper fraction is when you have a numerator, which is your top number, that's larger than your denominator, which is your bottom number. Okay, so to do that, we're going to look at our whole. In this case, it's the one in yellow. Now, for us to change it to an improper fraction, we have to compare it to the number of pieces we cut our fraction part into. So in this case, we had it in 4 parts. So now I'm going to cut my whole into 4 parts. Now do you see that we now have 1, 2, let's use a different color. 1, 2, 3, 4 out of that one whole. So 4 parts plus 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to change it to 1, 2, 3. So how many new parts do we have now? Do you agree? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that equals 7 parts over the number of pieces we cut our circles into, which is 4. And that's how we derived it. Let's try another one. This one says 2 3/8. So we have 1 and 2 wholes, and not quite another whole, we have 3 out of 8. So for us to figure out the 3 out of our 8, I'm going to draw one whole in my green. It's in the 8, but now I'm going to cut my whole into 8 pieces. Now of that, how many of these 8 pieces do I actually have? I actually only have 3. So I'm going to color that 3. Okay. Then we're going to ignore everything else here because we actually only have those 3 as colored. So how do we convert this 2 3/8 into a mixed number? In order to do that, we have to also cut our 2 wholes into 8 pieces each. Okay. So now you have to see that in our 2 wholes we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And we have 17, 18, 19. So that gives us a total of 19 over 8. That's how we solve that. And remember, the denominator is always the same as the denominator you were given in the fraction because you cut it in that same number of pieces. Okay, now let's do a simple conversion of mixed numbers into improper fractions with a very simple example, but without drawing. So now I'm going to use 1 1/2. How do we convert 1 1/2 into a mixed fraction? To figure it out, we're first going to look at our denominator. In this case, it's a 2. We're going to multiply my 1 by 2. So I'm going to say, I can say that it is 1 times 2, because remember, we cut our whole into 2 pieces or 4 pieces or 8 pieces, depending on how many pieces we had in our denominator, plus that one little extra piece we have in the numerator. So I'm going to say plus 1 over the number of pieces we cut each whole into, which is 2. That gives me 1 times 2 is 2 plus my 1 over 2, which equals 3 over 2. Let's try another example. See, now we have 5 and 2 over 3. So to figure out how we're going to solve that, we're going to look at our denominator. And remember, we cut our 5 wholes into 3 pieces each. So we're going to do 5 times 3, because we cut our 5 holes into 3 pieces, plus our little 2 extra pieces that we had, over our denominator, which is 3. That simplifies to 5 times 3 gives me 15, plus the 2 pieces in our fraction over 3, which equals 15 plus 2 gives me 17 over 3. Okay, I'm going to go a little faster now. What about 4 and 5, 6? Again, look at your denominator. Look at your whole number. 4 times 6 gives us 24, plus the 5 in our numerator over the 6 in our denominator. Simplify our numerator. 24 plus 5 gives us 29 over 6. And that's our improper fraction. Let's try another one. So 2 and 4 over 10, 2 times, we can do it 2 ways. Let's do it our original way, which was 2 times 10 gives us 20, plus 4 over 10, which gives us 24 over 10. Now, both numbers are even in the numerator and denominator, so we can divide both by 2, which leaves us 24 divided by 2 gives me 12, and 10 divided by 2 gives me 5. We can also first simplify it before we turn it into a mixed number, because as you can see, 4 over 10, 4 and 10 are both even numbers. So I can say that we have 2 and 4 over 10. 4 divided by 2 is 2 over 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now I can convert it to mixed numbers as we did before, which is 2 times 5 gives me 10, plus the 2 in my numerator over my 5 in the denominator, and you can simplify that to give us 10 plus 2 gives me 12 over 5. As you can see, both final answers are the same. Let's try another one. So we have 3 and 1/4. So we do 3 times 4, which gives me 12, plus 1 from my numerator over my denominator, which is 4. And we're going to simplify. 12 plus 1 equals 13 over 4. That's my final answer. Let's try an example with smaller pieces, or I should say a bigger denominator. So let's say 9 and 7 over 11. We still do the same thing. Don't let the large number scare you. So we're going to take 9 times 11, which gives us, 9 times 11 gives us 99, plus, that's 7 over my denominator, which is 11. 99 plus 7 gives me 106 over 11. The process is exactly the same. If you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. I offer tutoring services online as well as notes, worksheets with full answer keys available for sale. Links down below. If you'd like to support my work, I also have a Patreon account and you can support me that way as well. Links included below. Thank you for watching and I hope this session helped.